Can you quickly just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and how long you've been selling on Amazon?
Yeah, so my name is Frank. I have been selling on Amazon. I started back in 2022, so about 3 years. That was like a year before I dropped out of college. I started selling used books, and then as I got more serious about it, I had to start finding different avenues. So I started to sell a lot of like used media, and then eventually moved over to clothing and apparel, and that's kind of where I stuck. And then it really started picking up like beginning of 2024 or middle of 2024. So not too long ago, probably like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, was when it really started picking up. And then from there, I've kind of continued just to sell clothing and apparel and shoes.
Right, right. So you've never really did like the reselling side. It's just been like Amazon. Like you were never like a sneaker reseller on Instagram or like.
No, I never sold outside. I never sold anything really outside of Amazon. Like the early hustle days or like a lot of stuff on eBay while I was still like in high school and community college.
Right.
But yeah, nothing in terms of like actual sneaker reselling.
So before, joining our program and starting to work with us, so it's probably about 45 days ago, like you had no sneaker reselling business, like none at all. Like it was just non-existent.
I didn't sell a single sneaker outside of Amazon.
So what were like some of like the biggest problems you were facing with Amazon and your business as a whole before, you decided to, transition and start working with us?
Not that I was like facing any problems with Amazon specifically. It was more so just wanting to find a different income source outside of Amazon, and I didn't really know what that was going to look like. I guess I started playing around with that back in like June, May. I guess is when I seriously started to pursue that and look for like a reliable income source outside of Amazon.
Right.
Just because there's so much stuff that goes on in terms of Amazon locking your money, Section 3s. I mean, anybody who sells on Amazon knows how that stuff kind of works, and that stuff it's spooky, you know. Like you don't want your money locked up, and at the very least, like no matter what business you're in, it's nice to have some second stream of income to where if something goes wrong, you've got some sort of fallback.
Definitely. What do you feel like made you want to, start working with us?
I have no idea, to be honest. Like I saw you guys, I saw you specifically posting on Instagram, and it kind of just caught my eye. Like I don't really think there was anything specifically that made me gravitate towards you guys.
Did you have any hesitations or concerns before joining?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Whenever you're signing up for any sort of like coaching or mentorship, obviously it's a big commitment. And once you do, you're kind of like committing yourself to, putting in the work and actually like spending time on this specific business.
Right.
And, I have paid for mentorships and coaching in the past, and, it's never a bad thing. It's all about like who you give your money and your trust to. I paid someone specifically for Amazon, specifically OA, online arbitrage. And, that led me to being able to do like well over $100,000 in sales in December alone. Yeah, without that, it probably would have been like a tough stepping stone to make that transition. It's hard to compare just because there's such different businesses.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So when it comes to like hesitations, like when you're joining, you're obviously hesitant, most people would. What do you feel like helped you overcome them and, like being able to finalize and, lock in?
Honestly, it wasn't until 2 to 4 weeks after. The first 3, 4 weeks was pretty like stagnant and like non-existent. But just like continuing to talk to you and Gabe, and then being able to kind of, correspond what I was already doing with Amazon and kind of, mix that into sneaker reselling and wholesale as a whole.
What do you feel like is like the most valuable thing that you've taken away from us or learned from us?
I think you guys have a really good understanding of like how business works as a whole and how like important relationships are, and just putting yourself out there and like maintaining and like creating those relationships. It's not really something you ever think about when you're just like in the Amazon world, or for anyone who's selling on Amazon, Walmart, you name it. Those relationships aren't really as important because you're not selling to, any sort of business. You're just selling to the end consumer, so it doesn't really matter. But just in terms of like understanding how this business, or, most businesses work as a whole, being able to make that transition and do the things that you guys talk about.
Yeah, definitely. How has, our program and, working with me and Gabe specifically helped change your perspective and, the way that you look at sneaker reselling and this business model as a whole?
I mean, I wouldn't even say just sneaker reselling. I would just say any business in general. Like, it's just such a completely different take, especially coming from the Amazon side of things. And it kind of just opens your eyes to new ideas and how you can do things going forward.
Right. And then without going like into your profit specifically, so let me ask you this, like the first initial investment, it's been like probably like 45, 50 days. How much do you think that you've made, compared to that? Obviously, I know that you've made it back, but like let's say like 5x, 10x, like what do you think that you're at now, 45, 50 days in?
I mean, probably pretty comfortably 4x.
It's awesome, bro. I mean, that's what I tell a lot of people too, like with our program and this business model as a whole. Like, you're not going to see results immediately. Like, it takes like a good 2 to 3 weeks to build a foundation, build up your social media, have like concrete, and then you can start building off of that. And you're like, holy shit, I have a house here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and things are always changing. Like I still feel like I don't have like a super strong understanding, or I have a good understanding.
And I know that you've told me that like you're looking at this business model now, like is your main thing, like this is what you want to do and pursue it and build off of this and kind of look at Amazon from like the side, like a side hustle, like what's your perspective on that now?
Yeah, I'm always going to continue Amazon, kind of like run it till the wheels fall off. Yeah, now my main focus is kind of sneaker wholesale and expanding on that rather than, digging deeper into Amazon.
Since the beginning of August, so we're like 8 days in, how many shoes do you think that you've sold or have pending sold?
In the past 2 weeks, probably well over 3,000.
Crazy, bro. And for everybody watching this video, assume that he's making $3 to $10 a pair, do the math. I'm really proud of you. So a few more questions and then we can just, have a conversation. I know that you need to get off here a little bit fast, so I'm not going to keep you forever. How does your business and mindset feel now, compared to before 2 months ago?
I mean, it feels like I'm like building and sustaining something without having the worry of Amazon taking it away at any time. Because Amazon's kind of a scary game. Even when you can do everything right, Amazon has the ability to take what you've built away at just about any time. So when you have your own income outside of any sort of platform, you're not limiting yourself to someone being able to take that away from you at any time. And it feels a lot better. Like, it feels like I'm actually like building something and, have a lot more confidence in like what I'm doing. And not only that, but also just being able to turn over profits so much faster than I would on Amazon.
Yeah, see, like I do Amazon a little bit on the side too. So like I understand from your perspective, but like the biggest thing that I don't like about it is, let's say I'm doing OA, right? Get the products, takes 4 days for them to land, then package, quality control, whatever, ship them to Amazon. I can't actually start selling that for like 10 days. It's like a 2 week turnaround time. Let's say it sells within a week. So 21 days, it's all sold. I'm not even getting that money for like over a month. And when you're doing that at really high scale, let's say you have $10,000 to your name, it's like you're making decent margins. Let's say you made $2,000, but like it really doesn't make sense unless you're sending like $50,000, $100,000 there. And then, it's still just like the fear that one IP complaint, one little thing that can go wrong, and they can just hold all of your money.
It's definitely like a longer term play. And like I had a scare maybe like 2 months ago where Amazon held my money for like a week and a half. And it was something small. They just had to verify my bank account info. But it's like when they're holding tens of thousands of dollars from you, it's like, come on, man.
Right. Yeah, definitely, bro. I hope that I don't get to experience that on my Amazon journey. But moving forward, what goals are you working towards now that you feel are actually possible?
I mean, just like building something that feels real, like no matter how long, it sustains. I want to be able to expand on not just wholesale and sell into a lot of whatnot sellers, but also building a whatnot business myself and having multiple streams, or what feels like multiple streams of income within sneaker wholesaling.
So where do you see yourself and your business 6 months from now and a year from now? Just like the sneaker wholesale business specifically.
I mean, I want to be able to sell tens of thousands of shoes per month and, grow this pretty big and, feel good about what I do, scale this thing up.
Right. And what's crazy is that since you've joined within like these last 50 days, not only have you bought a fucking van, which is crazy, you bought a van before me, 2,500 square foot warehouse, as well as a full-time employee that you made quit his job. Like those three big things within 2 months are less than 2 months are huge, bro. It's absolutely, I mean, how do you feel, because like your expenses now are like over what a normal average American makes in a month? Like, how do you feel like you're going to deal with that moving forward?
From there, finding a warehouse, which was a process, and it's a big commitment. Like, it's not just $2,000 for the warehouse. It's all the insurances you need. It's the workers' comp. It's all this stuff that just adds on. So, I'm having probably between $5,000 and $7,000 per month just in expenses. But I mean, all you can do is just like have confidence in what you do. And,
Right.
I clearly wouldn't have made those decisions and taken on that kind of monthly spend without being able to confident I can make, 3, 4 to 7x that in a month.
Right. And that's what I tell everybody on Instagram and everybody who's going to watch this video that I voice pretty heavily. It's all or nothing. Like, we're so young, you're a few years older than me, but like, you're still young, bro. Like, you don't have kids. Like, you don't have anything like too crazy that you have going on in your life to where it's like we can lose it all and we can get it back. We can just restart and just start over, go work a job, do the same shit over. And like, that's kind of the clarity that I have. I know that if I wake up and I go in debt and I lose everything, I can just start over with the knowledge I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing to lose. I'm 23. I didn't go to college. Who cares? I mean,
Definitely. A few more questions before we hop off, probably like 10, 20 minutes worth of question. If someone is watching this and, is on the fence about reaching out to me, scheduling a call with me, or even joining, what, advice would you tell them about their experience or, how they're feeling?
I mean, my biggest hesitation was like, you're younger than me, and spending that kind of money on someone who is, significantly younger than you, it's there's definitely a lot of pressure that comes with that. But I mean, I've made more progress in the past 30 days than I feel like I have in the past, in the previous 300 days. I've made like more strides than I have. You and Gabe have pushed me to make decisions that are scary, but at the end are probably, right for the business. And, the connections that I've made are just like invaluable.
No, bro, dude, I'm really proud of you. I was telling you, it was like, what was it, last night or the night before, that like, dude, I think you're gonna make like multiple 5 figures a month soon. Like, a lot of money. I think you're gonna do really fucking good because, bro, you're a killer, bro. You can never hop on these calls with me because all you're doing is fucking working, bro. You're a hustler, but our goal now is to, keep on hustling, but build systems and put systems in place so that way, you have a life too. You know what I mean?
And once I get that warehouse, I mean, it's going to make my life infinitely easier. Like, I cannot wait to move in.
No, dude, I think you're gonna kill it, bro. I'm excited for everything, that happens moving forward. What's like one piece of advice you'd give to a reseller or wholesaler or just a normal person who is in the same spot as you, or even, has an idea about reselling, but, they're only making 1,000, 2,000, or even less than that a month off of their reselling business?
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question because I feel like I've only been in this game for a month and a half, so I don't know if I'm like qualified to answer that. Since it's been such a short amount of time.
Right.
But yeah, just putting yourself out there and like posting on social media and making yourself known. Like, you always say people don't buy from a logo, they buy from.
I have a video about this that I'm actually going to release soon. There's this dude with a logo. His name is Fox Got Shoes. Like, I don't even know what this dude does. I don't know if he's a reseller. I don't know if he's a collector. Just a logo, just an animated logo. And, nobody would willingly send thousands of dollars to a logo. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like, would you recommend anybody, whether working with me, investing in me, or just a mentor in general, would you ever recommend, somebody doing that? Like, do you feel like there's an ROI on that? Or do you feel like it's just, kind of a scam and a get rich quick scheme for the person who's actually, you're paying?
Yeah, no, it's 100% worth it if it's like something you're committed to, and if it's something that you want to make work and you're willing to put in the work. Like, if you pay someone to tell you a bunch of stuff and you don't put any of that into action and you kind of just sit there and do nothing, and there's like a lot of there's a bad taste when it comes to like paid mentorships. A lot of people are hesitant or they don't think it's worth their time, but it can definitely be worth your time if you're willing to put in the work, if you trust the person that you're working with, and like you actually put in the work.
Right, definitely. And I mean, do you feel like when you joined, because like we didn't sign any contracts, like there was nothing set in stone. Like realistically, when you could have joined, like as fucked up as it sounds, like I could have blocked you. Obviously I wouldn't do that, but it's always a fear that somebody has when they're joining these programs. And like I understand, like I've invested like $30,000 into mentorships. Like I one time sent a dude like $4,000 up front, like he could have easily just got rid of me. How do you feel like we've been in touch with you? Obviously the one-on-one calls, the group calls, texting me and Gabe, and just reaching out to us. Like, do you feel like we were kind of there with you and like on your ass, or like how do you feel like communicative we were to you and everybody else?
Yeah, no, you guys have been super always in touch with me, and because it's tough, it's easy to get drowned out in all the other things you're doing, and that's kind of what happened for the first 2-3 weeks. But you and Gabe were definitely on me. You were texting me even when I like wasn't scheduling calls or literally doing anything. You guys just continue to text me, which it's super helpful when you have that one-on-one communication. Like, to be honest, I haven't gone through any of your other content. I've kind of just been in touch with you guys, and that's probably the biggest value to this.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I definitely agree with you. That's what I tell everybody when they join. I'm like, we give you our blueprint. Like, we obviously give you videos and information so you can take all this stuff in, and like, it's sauce, it's good. But at the end of the day, the ability to be able to text me and Gabe and just be able to hop on a call with us and reach out to us and be like, look, bro, I'm having this problem, this dilemma right now. What do I do? And we're like, okay, you do this. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the biggest piece of value. And, even when I invest in somebody, like, the videos are cool, the information is cool, but like, I'm paying for you to be there with me throughout the journey. So when I do have problems, which I'm going to have problems if I want to do something at a high level, I have somebody who's already been through the problems that has an answer for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's 100% where the value's at.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, what else do you have for everybody watching this video or anybody seeing your face? Who are you, bro?
I mean, I'm buying and selling thousands of shoes per week. I'm supplying some of the biggest whatnot sellers in the game. And at this point, it's like people want to work with me. They're continuing to send me messages and they want me to sell them shoes because they know I sell a ridiculous amount of stuff. But yeah, we're just going to keep growing. And once we get into this warehouse, once this part-time employee quits his job on Sunday, we're going to be rocking and rolling.
All right, dude, it's going to be up from there, bro. How do you feel like my help and Gabe's help a little bit with social media and, just rebranded it all and, hitting your right target audience correctly help transform your business?
Yeah, it's always tough when it comes to social media because you don't know if what you're posting is right, like if it looks good. And at the end of the day, like if you are posting, you're doing something right. It beats not posting. But there definitely is something to be said about having the right branding and having a social media where people can look at you and they know what you do and they want to work with you and just all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, definitely, bro. Your social media looks a lot better now. I was a little bit scared once you got in here, and for everybody watching this video, I love Frank. He's fucking killing it now. But when he first joined, like the first 2 to 3 weeks, like he said, this dude wasn't a sneaker reseller. Like he knew nothing about, StockX. He knew nothing about the market, trending products, etc. And I was scared because this is a whole new, different business model for him. And it's really crazy to say that, like, if you put in the work, in such a short amount of time, you can 10x your business, even 100x your business. If you have the right guidance and the one-on-one help. And I mean, you were scared within the first 2 to 3 weeks, right? Because like we didn't really make that much progress within the first 2 to 3 weeks. It was just kind of like you were just kind of confused, right?
Yeah, we made like close to zero progress in the first 3 weeks and then went to 0 to 100 in like 2 days.
Yeah. What do you feel like I did specifically? Because I know Gabe helped a little bit with it, but I know we had like a few really, really good deep phone calls. What do you feel like I kind of opened your eyes to be able to like just go?
I don't know. It's hard to say if there's anything specific, but it's just about like getting on those phone calls and like working through like whatever thoughts or confusion that you have in your head and like talking through it with yourself, with someone else, and just like sitting down every day and trying to figure out how you make it work.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think this was worth it? Like, do you think your investment was worthwhile, or do you think it was not worthwhile?
Oh no, it was worthwhile. Like I had my best week in business last week by far.
Yeah. And then how do you feel like, how does this business, compare to Amazon, as far as like how much is it better than Amazon? Like, is this a lot better than Amazon, or do you think Amazon's better?
Each business works differently and better or worse for other people. Like it's always hard to say what will work for someone because I think it's just such a case to case basis. But personally, in my experience, I enjoy this more than Amazon. And I don't have that fear of my money being locked up. And the fears aside, like I'm able to turn over money so much faster that, financially it's a no-brainer. But I am glad I made this transition.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to think if there's anything else, bro. I mean, do you have anything for me or anybody watching the video? Just, about your transition or your journey or anything that, we have incorporated into our program? Just anything at all?
I don't know. I feel like we pretty much covered just about everything. It's just about like taking initiative and figuring out as you go and sticking with it.
Right. So if there were somebody, who's on the fence, and I know I kind of touched on this question a little bit, and this video of us talking and me putting this out there kind of pushed them over to the edge to join, do you think that they would get an ROI if they put in the work? Like, do you think, what we're actually giving out is worth what you're paying?
Yeah, you can 100% make money with this business model. It's just all about putting in the work and actually, spending the time on it, and not, joking with yourself and saying you're putting in the work and actually not putting in the work. You put in the work, whether it's with this or whether it's with anything, you're going to make progress. But too many people don't put in the work and don't really care.
I mean, do you think this is a business model that's sustainable? Obviously, you're dabbling into other business models within this as the base. Like, do you think this is something sustainable that you see yourself doing a year or 2 years from now?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is just to build something that, sustains for the next 1, 2, 3+ years.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Damn, that was pretty quick, to be honest. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I went through like my whole entire list of questions, but
I think you got everything. Like, I don't think there was anything that you missed, to be honest.
I think I did too. How were the connections and relationships that you built within the program, the other people in there? Do you feel like how was it, networking and talking to those people and just being like on a call with all of them, hearing their experiences?
To be honest, I haven't talked to them a whole lot. Like, I've talked to a few people in the group, and it definitely is helpful. But I've kind of just been doing my own thing for the most part.
Yeah.
Just because what I do is a little different than everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I think that's pretty much it. We can kind of round off here. Anything at all for anybody else or no?
No, I think we covered everything.